One thing a lot of the listeners and guests I've had on this show have in common was a history in the New Age. It just seems like it's so common. It's everywhere. The celebrities are doing it, music artists. It's just so ingrained into our society and culture that a lot of people don't even realize it's the New Age. But can you explain a little bit more about what that is and what do you think humanity's draw has been to that since the beginning?
Yeah. So, I mean, the New Age as it exists now, right? So, starting kind of in the mid 20th century, and then on to now in the early, well, we're getting close to the mid 21st century, I guess. Starting to feel a little old. So the New Age as it exists now is a kind of is a reaction against this sort of dry materialism,
Mm,
right? The idea that there is something more there. There's something that's not seen, and I want to tap into that, right?
yeah.
So I think that's the feeling that people have. What a lot of people may not realize is that the New Age has a lot of precedence to it. But and the reason why they may not realize that is that the New Age often describes itself. I mean, there's a lot of things that go by New Age. I should say that initially. Like it's not a religious group or a text or something like that. It's a range of things that people
Hmm.
are tapping into. But the way that most people kind of understand it is that it's based on something old, right? It's recalling something ancient so that I can access it now. Remembering something forgotten, that sort
Mm,
of thing.
yeah.
And that's true, but not usually in the way that people think. It's true in two different ways. One, which is that spiritual reality is real and always has been real, right? So yes, that's true. But
Yeah.
the other thing is that a lot of the specific practices and ideas are themselves new.
Mm,
They are things that are invented in the 20th century, right? But what's not new is the inventing of spiritual practices in an attempt to kind of manipulate spiritual forces,
mm,
right? So the first century had its own kind of new age, and that's generally called Gnosticism.
mm,
And what it is that the old New Age or the old age and the new age have in common is this artificiality, that there are individuals kind of taking this into their hands and trying to come up with stuff
yeah.
that is going to yield them the results that they want. And what was new about that in even in the ancient world was the artificiality of it, right? The sense of it doesn't matter what's come before, I can come up with something, right?
Mhm.
Now, what is actually truly ancient about it? Because from a Christian point of view, the first century is not actually the ancient world. 2,000 years ago is not the ancient world. The ancient world is centuries before that. But what is not new about it is the idea that specific techniques manipulate the spiritual world in a way that works. If you do the technique right,
Mm,
then this is the result that you will get. Right?
yeah.
This is the basis of magic,
Yes.
however you want to describe it. And it's a kind of technological approach to the spiritual world, right? So technology, line everything up correctly, get everything right, and you'll get this result.
Yeah.
And magic has the exact same idea. It's kind of spiritual technology, and in many ways, the new age functions essentially the same way.
Yeah, yeah, like a witchcraft, manipulation, seeking, like you said, these results, but without being in submission to God and, His
Yeah,
timing and His results.
yeah, and it doesn't really even matter like who you are as a person. If you do the actions right, you're going to get the result, right? Like
Mm,
no one asks about the moral state of a computer engineer. Who cares? If he
yeah.
does his job well, he's going to make a computer.
Yeah, and it's interesting how you said that this is sort of in response to the materialist world we live in. Like people are wanting more, they're wanting the truth, they're wanting spirituality because we were designed, to seek after God, but without being ready to, I guess, carry your cross. They can sort of look for those back doors and loopholes into spirituality.
Exactly.